Hello everyone and welcome to the Tops and Tails podcast. My name is Hugh Ware. This episode is brought to you as ever by Pluto TV, the free streaming service that is the home of the Modus Super Series. Watch every dart live and exclusive only on Pluto TV. No sign-up required, no fees, just non-stop darting action, as well as thousands of movies and shows for you to enjoy. Download the Pluto TV app now and start streaming on your smart television. The link is in the show description. Now, my special guest today, I am very excited to have her on because she is arguably the greatest winning machine in the sport today, and certainly one of the hottest young properties that the sport has in the world today. She's a three-time world champion. She finished top of the women's series in 2024 and 2025 and is the winner of the Women's World Match Play for the last 2 consecutive years. She is also a 4-time winner on the Development Tour, and goodness knows, at the time of recording anyway, how many more titles she's going to win for the rest of her career. It's none other than Bow and Arrow, Beau Greaves. Hi, Beau.
Hi, darling. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. So we're actually recording this at just before the Women's World Match Play, which you're about to defend. Mm-hmm. And there's not many players in the world, Beau, where I sort of give an introduction and it's like, well, at the time of recording, she's won this, this and this. But with almost like guaranteed certainty that, you know, you're bound to win more in the future. You know, your talent is so much. A pretty big question to start with, I suppose, but do you consider that as well? Or do you not really? What is your mentality when it comes to entering a darts tournament?
I don't know, I suppose... Because I've been playing, I feel like I've been around for ages now, and I've won so much, and I've done some incredible things, and obviously it's I just look forward to stuff now. I think because obviously when I won my first Lakeside at 18, that was sort of it for me. I was really happy with that. That was like what I'd dreamed of type thing, and then obviously I started to sort of like play against the men and the boys and stuff, and obviously winning the Dev Tours and the Challenge Tours as well was something I never thought I'd do. So obviously now I'm just constantly trying to push my sen but also enjoy it at the same time, or else I wouldn't win as much. So obviously that's been a big thing, is that enjoying my darts has been probably the big key to the success I've had, and obviously I just want to keep that going.
I tell you, I'm not pulling any punches with like the very big and deep questions early doors, am I? I tell you what, there's no introduction at all there, was there? It was just, like boom, straight away. Before we go any further into that, I've got a really vague memory from, I want to say like 2015. Was it when you played in the Hull City Hall Winmore World Masters girls final?
Yeah, I was 10, wasn't I?
Were you 10? I was going to say you were 9. You were 10 years old, were you?
Yeah, that was the first. I'd played for 4 months at that point and ended up qualifying for the final. Obviously, I played Robin, who was obviously playing tomorrow as well, which is
yeah. Hey, and this is crazy, but like you were 10 years old, and I just couldn't believe that somebody as young as that. Were you the youngest ever?
I think I am. Yeah, I think. Well, I haven't heard of anything since, obviously.
Well,
now
I must be close, but some people...
I think, I don't know, it's funny because me and Robin, we still talk about that now, how we're still both playing and still doing really well. And obviously, I mean, I look back at that and I think, God, I played really bad. But like, obviously I didn't actually know the game that well, so I just picked it up and I didn't really play at all. Like, as if I didn't understand it fully. So obviously when I got on stage, I basically just like fell apart. But I was only 10 and obviously it didn't yeah, it was an achievement, wasn't it? I suppose being 10,
big time. I mean,
so,
flipping heck.
That was nice, yeah.
Yeah, big time. I mean, so how did darts come into your life? Do you have a darts playing family?
Yeah, obviously it was my brother, but my dad played, and my Uncle John played, and my granddad played, and my auntie played. So they all sort of played. Yeah, it's pretty much everybody. Everyone
a family of Greaves.
Pretty much,
playing,
yeah. So I'm the sort of last one who's obviously started playing, but yeah, it's just like they used to play in like it's called a Bob Nelly's league, where you just played one leg. So nine players, one leg, and I think out of all the 12 pubs the league was in, I think only 2 didn't let me play, but obviously we all had to ring up and ask, because obviously by certain times and stuff it was, but they all let me play and I absolutely loved it, and obviously it was just like a whole big family thing, and it was all I did. Do you know what I mean? I didn't play anything else, and not like I was obsessed with it, but I was like, I just really liked it. Do you know what I mean?
But you were good at it, were you?
Yeah.
Right from the off, you were good.
I suppose that my dad sort of said it was the way I threw. I always sort of like, everyone used to say I throw like a bloke. Like I don't throw like a tip. Not like I don't know. I just throw more
I know what
manly
you mean.
than maybe other ladies, but
Right.
that was what he always used to say to me, and I suppose it's never really changed. It's always been really straightforward, and yeah, it's just been so weird. My brother was the main one. He played on the Dev Tour and stuff, and then I just went through the Yorkshire system, the county systems, and then all the England events, obviously, and then before I knew it, it was the PDC was doing the women's stuff, and that was it, really. Yeah.
It has been crazy, hasn't it? And I remember there was a certain amount of press after you played that girls' final, wasn't there? For you were 10 years old. I remember a video of you meeting Michael van Gerwen and throwing darts with Michael van Gerwen as well. That was around that time.
Yeah.
So the element of press has always kind of been there for you. I mean, do you enjoy the press, Beau? Do you enjoy doing things like this?
I do now. Now that I'm more open and like can talk more. I'm still really shy, but I would have
You're
never.
coming across really well, but honestly,
Yeah,
you're
but
coming
like
across
when
really
I
well.
was younger, obviously my mum and dad wanted me to do it, and I hated it. I would do it, but it was just something I just didn't like the whole facade around it, I suppose. Not like, it was just obviously I'm young, I'm like 12, 13, and I did it for years. It was constant, but they did me well. Do you know what I mean? But you don't look at it like that when you're young. Do you know what I mean?
You're thinking, I'm
You
12,
can't be
13,
bothered.
leave
Yeah.
me alone.
Yeah, I don't want to go in. I don't want to meet these. Like, obviously, the Van Gogh one was cool because obviously I watched him on telly and that. But
Yeah.
the rest of them were like, they were tedious. But that was just how I thought about them, like constantly saying the same stuff. But I don't mind it now. It doesn't bother me. I'd do anything. Do you know what I mean? It's not a fuss at all. I quite enjoy it now, weirdly. So yeah, it's like flipped on its head a bit. Like now that I can.
It is funny though, is a bit. Do you find like it is a lot of the same questions? You're probably going to get the same questions in this as well, just to let you know.
I don't know, but
probably. But it's yeah. Do you find like it's tedious, isn't it?
It was back then because it was like obviously when something happens, everyone jumps on it, and obviously that they all want that. But I didn't think of it like that back then. I just couldn't be bothered to do it because I was that young. But now obviously it's fine, and it's part of the sport, isn't it? Really.
Well, did you get recognised in school, Beau?
People,
were you sort of famous in school?
No, people knew I played, but they used to do my head about it. They used to wind me up about it and all that. And I.
Oh really?
Yeah, like nothing bad, but some people. I suppose people wasn't really bothered because I'd done it since primary school, so it was like just at the end of it. So it was people didn't really care, but obviously my friends knew and all that. But it's darts, isn't it? It's not like it's not a big thing in schools back then, was it? So it was like no one really cared as such.
I mean, was there any way that you could relax at all away from darts and from the press, or maybe even from school, the attention you would get in school? I mean, what do you do to relax, Beau?
Do you know what? People ask me that, and I actually sit and think how sad it is, because I can't actually say anything else.
Well, do you just chill?
I never did anything. Obviously, I had school, and then I just had darts. And at the time when I was in school, I played like pretty much every night. So I did that, and I never really. It's only recently I've took up golf, and I try and I didn't really have anything. I've been lucky enough that I used to work with my dad, but obviously I don't do that anymore because he's retired. But it was like I played darts and that was it. There's nothing in between. It was just more darts and darts, which is what I like to do. And obviously my golf is something I'm trying to improve at. So that was nice, playing something that I wasn't probably necessarily straight away good at. So that's been nice to have a bit of like something to try and improve on. Obviously, I'm still trying to improve on the darts, but it's when you start off really bad and then like trying to get into it. But yeah, I actually haven't. I just like spending time with my family and that as well. Obviously, I miss when I'm at home. I miss being when I'm away. So I miss being at home. So I just look forward to that, and that's pretty much it. I've got a really simple life.
So you play darts every night of the week, do you?
I did back then.
Then?
Yeah, I don't anymore.
So in pubs, clubs, county,
everything.
youth.
I did it all. Yeah.
So what were sort of looking back on those times, any sort of darting lessons that have stood you in good stead? Are there any particular matches, any particular something that somebody has said to you? What has been so you were saying earlier about how they were saying, oh, you sort of throw like a man, as it were.
Yeah.
I mean, how did people take to you when you first came along, Beau?
I don't know. I suppose I just didn't say anything. When I was in school, when I was really young, the teachers thought I was a mute. So I never said a word. So my mum they called me mum and was like, "Does your Beau talk?" She went, "What do you mean?" She went, "She can't shut up at home." And obviously when I was going, I'm so shy. Like, I was like crippling shyness. And then that sort of followed into like my teenage years. But and then I was eventually, but playing darts got me more open and meeting people, talking to people, and having to be in them situations of, like I say, talking to people in the interviews and just getting to know. So that's been a massive thing actually, because I was so shy and so just never. I always say to my mum would say, "Why didn't you talk to them or say?" And I said, "I just don't know what to say. Nothing comes to my head to say to people."
And also as well, like if these are adults who might be in their 30s or their 40s and you're 12, like, you know, it's like it's not easy, is it? You know,
and obviously that was obviously something that's helped me. But I think a lesson probably on the dartboard is like, I don't know. I played a girl once at the Women's World Masters, and she played really slowly. Right. And somebody said to my dad before, she plays really slow, she's going to do it on purpose. And I was like, it was the year after the first one I played, and then or something like that. And honestly, I thought, no, it'll be all right. And then she played, and she was so slow. I couldn't believe how slow she was walking. And obviously, I'm getting frustrated. But it was so funny because my dad had told me like she's going to be slow, and I didn't believe him. And then obviously I lost. And I was playing really well that day, and I lost. And that's something that's now. So when I do play someone slow, if anything, I quite enjoy it, because it's like I always think back to that one game of where I didn't listen, and I lost, and it was something that, like, obviously nowadays it doesn't bother me at all. I play someone really fast or really slow. I'm just like easy rhythm, which is nice, and obviously that. But do you know what I mean? People, I suppose when I was younger as well, some people weren't very nice, or some people really liked me. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Some people like, some people don't they? But I've really enjoyed my time in darts when I was younger. Do you know what I mean? It's a happy experience to look back on. I've met some great people as well. Do you know what I mean? And some really good friends now, and I've sort of grown into like being able to be on my own now and stuff. Cause I've always had my sister, I've always had my mum and dad. So
yeah,
I'm at a thing now where I can go on my own and do stuff, which is nice.
I sort of feel like that in some ways, because I started playing like sort of pub darts when I was like 12, 13, and refereeing on television when I was 17. So in a way, it has sort of felt like a life lived through darts, if that makes sense. I think anybody listening who used to play darts when they were a kid and still does, because the darts world is just that, isn't it? It is a world in of itself, isn't it? In a lot of ways. And, you know, we meet people that we would have never have known if it wasn't for darts, and we all share our lives together through the sport. And yeah, it's interesting, like, and I suppose that is sort of one facet of life, isn't it? That, you know, you're maybe not going to get on with everybody, or better way of putting it, some people aren't going to be as nice to you as others. Yeah. You know, and I suppose that is part of life. If I may ask, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but how were some people not nice to you, Beau? In what respect?
Just like if I remember playing someone at a comp and they just sort of like, it was like 3-2 or something to them, and I took out a finish. And because I was so young, people clapped me, because it was like, oh wow, she did good. So people started clapping, and this woman hated it. She said a comment to me. And I remember at the time I was like, what? So I'm like 12, I didn't say it. And I told my dad, and he went mad. And he was like, why is she saying that? You know, you're 12, she's a grown 40-year-old woman, whatever. And obviously I look back and think, God, I wish I had said this to her and done whatever. Obviously now, if anyone said it to me, then I would. But back then it's intimidating, isn't it? And someone, when you're 12, you're playing, and someone says something to you, you're a bit taken back, and you're like, well, I'm not going to try scrap you, do you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? It was so weird. And I still remember it's closed day now, and I think, how sad's that, to sort of Do you know what I mean? Say that to like a 12-year-old. Do you know what I mean? It's just.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, have you found, because obviously you win a lot, Beau, you know, have you found, was that her problem in the first place? Was it that you were beating her? Was that the problem?
I suppose so. I think it was
problem?
because obviously people were watching me and like, oh wow, like this girl's really good, you need to watch her type thing. So I was playing okay, I wasn't playing well, but. And then obviously just the more people, the crowd attention, and I'd assume because I ended up beating her as well, she just wasn't very happy about it. She wasn't interested in that in that thing of it, which is fine. But I don't think now as I've grown up, I would never put another youth girl in that position of like being mean to them. Not like mean, but like saying comments to them or making them feel uncomfortable. And I just think it's never forgot, because I think that was like the first one who ever sort of said anything. Obviously you get like your hate stuff and all that, but that's just something I've learned to deal with over the years.
But do you find that sort of pervades today, like on the women's series, for example, where you do kind of dominate, Beau? Let's face facts. You know, you do win the vast majority of the time.
Yeah.
What are the attitudes like on the women's series towards you? Have you found similar problems or not really?
I haven't thus far, I suppose. Obviously, I don't really know I can't read their minds. I don't know what they're really thinking, but I try and just be as respectful as possible. Do you know what I mean? I don't rub it in. I try and just support, and I've never had anyone say anything to me or anything, or
Well, no,
I like it on there. Yeah,
I get the impression that you are very popular, actually.
Yeah.
You know, when I spot the women's series and things, I see big kisses, big hugs, big smiles.
Yeah, I try and talk to everybody and stuff, and that's how I've always been nice, and it's how I like to play the game. I was on about it the other day of if I get on a dartboard and they don't want to talk to me, and it not annoys me, but I'm like, oh, why are you so serious? Chill out a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Have a conversation. I guarantee you'll feel better when you start playing. And obviously when people don't, I'm like, oh, I'll always try and say, just try and be nice, because I like that side of it. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to win everything you play, so there's no point.
It's a game of darts, people.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? That's how I look at it, and I think I've done really well. So, and obviously I know a lot of ladies are successful as well, but I think it's. I just think if you're nice, you just have a bit. I'm weird. I think if I'm really I've just been the same throughout my whole life, chatting to people, whatever. Then eventually stuff will come good for me. And that's how I've always thought. Weirdly enough, I don't have it in me to bitch about someone or I don't know. I just not interested in it at all. I just find it.
So when you go into a women's series event or a WDF event, or even maybe a county match, wherever it is you're playing, development tour, challenge tour, what is your mentality, Beau? How do you approach the day? Are you going in there to win? Are you very disappointed when you don't? Do you only accept winning the title? Do you know what I mean? What is your mentality when it comes to the game of darts?
I don't know. I suppose when I was younger, I wanted to win, but then since when I started struggling with my dartitis, it sort of changed. It sort of changed in a way of like, I'll be really happy if I can get through a game smoothly. No struggling, no nothing. And then that sort of stuck. So it's like, I always say to Bobby, like, I would rather play a game, not struggle at all, even if I play bad, because it's so mentally draining when I do start struggling, and it just becomes like it feels like a long period of trying to get over it again. So, but now I know when I'm playing well and it isn't there, then I think more of that on the ladies' side. I think I want to win these. I will be annoyed if I don't win. But if someone is to play better than me, and that's fair enough. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to win everything I enter. And obviously there's been the standards getting better as well, so it's good. And I never thought I'd win a dev tour or a challenge tour. So I never thought, even when I won at the Modus, when I was the first one to do that, I thought, oh wow, that's quite good. Do you know what I mean? I don't really know how to think about stuff. Because I've just played, and it's never been a big thing. Because I've always played darts, and then it's just never been made into a big thing when I have won, like at home and stuff. I just go back to, just get no special treatment. Do you know what I mean? When I'm back at home, so I just don't really think. I just like my life. Do you know what I mean? So obviously some games I will be disappointed, but that's just a natural feeling, isn't it? When you don't win, I suppose. And But I just
can I ask what's the most disappointed you've been after a game, Beau? Can I ask, is there one game in particular that stands out? Any sort of maybe over the last couple of years where you've been disappointed? There's not many to choose from.
Yeah, I can't think of a massive one because I don't know. Maybe when I lost when I played my first year at the Grand Slam, and I lost both games 5-4. I think it was. I felt disappointed then because I think I lost both last leg deciders, and I think I had the darts in each one as well. And I was disappointed because, you know, if you hold your throw, I'm winning, I'm going through. And that was probably the one I felt disheartened about. And I feel disheartened when I play bad on big stages as well. That gets me down a bit because I think, God, I wish I could go back and just do it all differently. But there's not something that really sticks out to me. But I don't tend to dwell on stuff either. My dad's always said to me, if I've lost, it's history now. Just forget about it, just move on. And that's how I look at it, really. If I was to dwell on stuff, I would get really down in the dumps probably, but there's no point.
Do you think that sort of enters into the mentality of being a champion, is the ability to forget and let go of these things?
Yeah, obviously there's going to be disappointments, isn't there? I mean, obviously playing darts is you get like one chance, and obviously if you don't win, you're going on. So it's like that's just how I've always been. I've never been hard on myself either, really. Sometimes I am a little bit, but overall I've tried to be as nice to myself as possible, because obviously being the favourite and stuff and wanting to go on to play with the men, and I try to just be nice to myself and obviously just enjoy the game without it being too complicated. So.
And I suppose it's important to sort of deal with your own expectations and not think about what others' expectations are of you, maybe. And so being nice to yourself in that respect.
Yeah, I suppose that was a big thing. So when I was younger, obviously under 18 people always said to me about, she'll be a world champion before she's 18, or she'll be this, she will be this and that. And it never bothered me at all. It doesn't bother me now, even when people say whatever. Obviously, when I was younger, it was a thing of like, at the time when I was playing, for some reason, I couldn't see myself being that, which is so strange, because obviously it was Lisa and Trina, and Fallon was doing really well, and I thought, oh, am I ever going to be like that top lady type thing?
Were they your inspirations, Beau? Was Trina an inspiration? Fallon, of course. Lisa? Yeah,
obviously they were people who I wanted to be. I wanted to be better then, obviously. And obviously again, they were nice. Do you know what I mean? They were nice to me when I was growing up playing darts, and obviously we still beat each other now, and obviously it's nice that they were kind to me, I suppose, coming into the game. So that was nice. But I didn't look up to them as such, because I looked up to my brother in that. It was more I looked up to my family side of things. I never really tried to compare my centre to the others. I wanted to just go on my own path type thing and do it that way. But obviously they're fantastic dart players, do you know what I mean? And obviously I think they've been great for the game and stuff, and obviously I want to do what they've done and have a good career in the game.
You've mentioned sort of playing on development tours and challenge tours at Moda Super Series. Even the Grand Slam, playing against the men a lot. I remember refereeing the game you had against Nathan, and that was 5-4. I remember refereeing that game, and that was a great game. And I saw how sort of happy Nathan was at the end of that game. Almost sort of relief, I think, that he felt that he had won. Do you find that a sort of a mental difference when you play the women as opposed to playing the men?
Yeah, there is a difference.
In what respects? Do you feel more determined?
I feel more relaxed against the men, probably.
Right.
Which is, but I think that comes with of people. Or people say I'm the best, or Lisa's the best, or Fallon's the best. But obviously, sometimes I think then when I go on to play the men, I think maybe some of the other ladies couldn't go on to do that. I know Fallon did. Lisa obviously had a tour card, but obviously it's trying to have a longevity in the men's game, isn't it? And trying to sort of convince yourself, no, I can do it. I can have a tour card and I can be successful on it, which is what I'm probably finding tough right now, because I'm in a position to get a tour card. Obviously, it's not confirmed yet, but It's
Would you like a tour card, Beau?
yeah, I would take it. Yeah, I wouldn't. I always say like I would rather try and fail than look back and think, oh, I should have done that and didn't give it a go. But obviously, I don't know. Sometimes I think, yeah, I can do it. I want that life. I want to be able to do it and try and be successful. But I really enjoy my ladies' darts as well, which is something that's like I'm not fighting with, but I don't really want to let it go. I've loved it. Lakeside, I absolutely loved. I still love it. Do you know what I mean? I've won 3 titles there. I've grown up playing the ladies and stuff, and it's just how I like to play the game. Playing the men is a different mindset because it's like,
Do you feel?
I can't explain it. It's
do
weird.
you feel you need? I'm going to say this. Forgive me. Do you feel like? Well, do you feel like you want a new challenge? I suppose. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Well, I want to push myself to see what I can do. I don't know, but.
Do you also feel like there's still a lot of time ahead? Do you feel sometimes that, because I know I'm not the first person to ask you this question, of course, it's put to you all the time.
Yeah.
Do you feel like sometimes more is made of this kind of conversation because you have so much time ahead of you?
Yeah. I suppose so. Sometimes I think I just want to try and get more for the ladies' game. I would rather that than me. Obviously, I want to have a nice career and all that, whatever, but I really enjoy, like, the match play is great for the ladies. We all look forward to it. We all love it. But that's kind of it. And obviously we have the tour, which is great, but that's all we have. I mean, I just think, will I be happy playing the men for the rest of my life? Trying constantly, like, that environment, that type of stuff. Because obviously when I'm at the women's series, it's like I'm with the girls and my friends are there, and it's like a different tour completely.
Or it's a different atmosphere. I work on the Pro Tour and I work at the women's series. It is a very different atmosphere between the two. Yeah. There's no question about that.
Yeah, and I love it. I look forward to it when they come around, and I like playing there as well. And it's not even just for the fact that I win a lot on there. Obviously it's nice, and obviously that's what I go for, is to win. But I think I would, if I would miss that side of it loads. And I know Lisa said that as well when she was on the tour. She missed that side of the darts, and obviously I asked her that, do you miss the WDF BDO or whatever it was at the time? She went, yeah, like mad. And obviously I think I know I can still play both, but I think if you get in the top 64 now, you can't, can you? It's something like that now, but I don't know, I want to try and give it a go, but sometimes I think, I'm a girl, why can't I have a nice career in ladies darts? Why do I have to push myself because people want to see it on telly? Do you know what I mean? Why do I have to do that because people want to see it?
Well, where would you like to see the ladies' game in 10 years' time, Beau? What would be the dream for women's darts in 10 years?
I think a PDC World Championship would be great. I know they did one years ago, didn't they?
Yes, I think they did. Yes.
And obviously, but it's different faces now. It's different people to put out there to promote. And obviously, I think a ladies' World Championship would be amazing. Obviously, to have that. The match play is great, and I think I don't know, because I know it's a different standard and it's different watching, more views and stuff. But that's like most of the ladies' sports nowadays. It's different standards. It's different. People prefer watching men, don't they? That's just how it is. They just prefer the men. But I don't know. I just think they could. Why not? Do you know what I mean? It's not. Sometimes it's not a great standard. Fair enough. But sometimes you get poor men's games on the telly. At the World Championship, you get a lot of qualifiers that aren't up to the standard. Obviously, it's getting better now, or has been. But I'm just saying,
well, it's
give it a chance, isn't
also
it?
as well, like it's not going to grow unless you give it the opportunity to grow. Ultimately, I suppose. So I mean, no, I totally understand what you're saying, big time.
It's tough, innit? I understand it. Do you know what I mean? I completely get it. It's not as entertaining as the men is. It probably never will be, but it's. They have a tour. It's quite good. That the money's going up, and why not?
Do you think if you were? I apologise. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth here. I'm really not. I'm just wondering, if you were to join the Pro Tour and had a tour card, do you think you could have as much of an impact on ladies' game by doing the Pro Tour than you would do if you were in the Women's Tour? Does that make sense? Could you make just as much of an impact, if not more, if you join the Pro Tour? Do you feel? That's a big question. I know. Sorry.
I think of it as like, I feel like if I was to get a tour card, I think most of the ladies, 90% of them, would want me to do really well, and they would want me to go and do it. Because I don't think, probably talking for a lot of ladies here, but I think a lot of them probably don't think they're good enough to do it. I think they sort of look at me, Fallon, obviously Gemma's playing really well, Lisa, obviously there's loads to name, but some of them probably don't think they can do it now. And obviously it's sort of like a me and Fallon thing at the minute of where we're like trying to play against the men, and obviously which I have started to enjoy, which is a new thing. I absolutely hated it at some of the other comps I've been at. I didn't want to be there.
Really? Right.
I just hated it. No, I just didn't like, I suppose, the atmosphere. It's completely different for me. Like, the only lady in there, and it's a bunch of men, and obviously...
Was it more competitive? Can you feel the competitiveness? Do you know when you're playing?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can feel
it's egos, isn't it? It's like,
right, yeah.
All the men in there, they're like...
Oh, gosh.
And I think... But that's how they are. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, no,
it's
no,
just men are like... There's two different... it's two different species. I don't know what you want to say, innit? It's
mentalities.
It's just that's just my preference. I know. I don't know how much Fallon enjoyed it. I know she was obviously successful, and obviously that was great. But it's just not. It just wasn't my cup of tea back then. I think.
But now you're feeling more.
Now I'm more
settled, more
want to do it. Yeah, like I want to try. I don't know how successful I would be or whatever, and I know it would be extremely difficult, but I do think I can. I think I want to say no, I can't, but I know deep down I have the game to do it. It's just doing it consistently, isn't it? That's the thing with ladies' game, it's so inconsistent, myself included. I know obviously it's had some really poor games on the tour and that, and just games that wouldn't cut it anywhere near on the Pro Tour, so that always dips into my head when I think about stuff like that, like, oh, it's all right doing 100 average, and then you're going to do a 77. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's that it's that bracket of that what the ladies we don't have. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Hopefully,
it's coming.
Yeah.
Well, do you think, the question has been put to Luke Littler before now, does he feel like the biggest dangers to him, his biggest rivals, if you like, in the future, are actually behind him instead of in front of him? Do you feel that with the explosion of darts that has taken place post Luke Littler, do you feel like, are there now little girls, who are like averaging whatever they're averaging, like the boys are doing, and you look at them and you think, well, they're going to be my rivals for the future? Is that, have you seen an explosion in girls' darts as well as boys' darts since Luke Littler came along? Yeah,
probably not as big as obviously young lads, but obviously it's the way forward, isn't it? Obviously, we need more. Obviously, it's some of the entries on the women's series are really poor, and I don't understand it. I don't understand why people aren't coming to them. Like, some of them are terrible, like 70 entries, and there's $2,500 on offer now, which is obviously a lot of money for a ladies' event. And then there's 4 in the weekend. It's great, and obviously there's not as many youths as I thought there would be. I know you've got to be 16, but I thought there's a few coming through or have been around. Obviously, Paige is really good now. Paige Portland's really, she's getting there. I know there's a few, but there's not as much as obviously I maybe thought there would be after. But it's not a sport you play in school, is it? It's not something you grow up doing it. It's if your family's into it. Do you know what I mean? It's very rare you get a dart player that says, "Oh no, he just want it." Do you know what I mean? But
I mean, I'm sure there's lots of little girls out there who are looking at you and thinking, I'd like to be you one day. I'm sure there must be.
I would love to be that person for them. I think obviously I think it's just knowing that you can have a career out of it. You can be successful, but obviously I think a lot of my career has just been because I've won so much in such a short, not a short time, but since do you know what I mean? I've won a lot of darts comps, and obviously that's where my careers come from, where the money comes from, and being able to have a life where I'm very lucky to have a life that I can play darts, and that's that. And obviously that's what I think, if the girls are coming through it, if you are good, you can be successful in it, and you can. It's hard, like, obviously all the ladies, everybody has full-time jobs, and, do you know what I mean, their mothers and kids and stuff.
Yeah, there's
and
a lot of commitments, isn't there?
yeah,
that,
and it's tough for them. It's
yes.
hard. That's why I feel so lucky, because I'm able to just have a darting life. They've had a life before darts. A lot of them start so late on as well. They start when they're 25 to 30, and obviously they've got full-time jobs and bills to pay for. So you can't just take the days off work, can you? So I taught.
Whereas you started when you were a kid.
Yeah, and I've done it the whole
those kinds
time.
of responsibilities, I suppose. Yeah,
so,
as much as your ability, obviously.
But I had the support. Do you know what I mean? I got the sponsors and the support. Obviously, a lot of the ladies starting late on, they don't get looked at as such. Do you know what I mean? Because the men's such a bigger sport.
Yeah, the sponsors and the opportunities to go. Yeah, you really need the backing, don't you?
So you need. It's like you need to be known when you're younger to be able to come through, and then you grow up. Obviously, with all the media stuff attention, I was not really well known, but obviously people thought I would be a world champion and do all that, and I did. So, but I just dropped on. I was lucky enough. My mum and dad did that for me, took me everywhere and stuff, and then I got sponsors, and obviously I've had such a great life up to now. But it's not the same for some of the other ladies. Do you know what I mean? They struggle with it, and it's hard.
Well, I mean, you touched on it earlier, and I don't want to dwell on it if you don't want to, obviously. So feel free not to answer if you don't want to. You mentioned dartitis earlier, and funny enough, Beau, I've had a few guests on this podcast now who've talked about dartitis and their struggles with it. Nathan Aspinall and Leanne Van Veen, great, terrific dart players.
Yeah.
When did it first come along for you? Because it made you take a break from the sport, didn't it, for a while, if I'm correct?
Well, when I played my first women's series, I don't know when it was in Barnsley, I think, and I played on the stream. I lost 4-0, and I came off and I said to my dad, I said, something was wrong there. So I don't know what it was, so something felt wrong. And that's all I said to him. And we went on, and I got back practicing, and he used to mark games to me on, like, it was on the Raspberry app and stuff, on the phone and that, and he used to do that for me, and obviously all it was, one day I just stuttered out of nowhere, and that one thing became, well, up to now, still a massive part of my darts. Obviously it's I just came out of nowhere. I just can't, and my brother had it before I had it, and I used to stand behind him and think, just let go of it. Why can't you do that? And I never got it. And then obviously when I got it or developed it, however it comes about, it was just absolute torture. I had like breakdowns at darts, I was crying all the time. I was thinking, what am I going to do with my life? Do you know what I mean? My whole life's been darts, and it was such a weird thing, because I loved playing and I wanted to play, but I just couldn't let go of the thing in my hand. And even now it creeps in, like.
Well, how did you get rid of it, Beau? How did it go away the first time? Because you deal with it a lot better than when it first came along, obviously.
I remember I started practicing a hell of a lot, and what I hear a lot of people talk about now is, I've changed my throw, I want to change my throw, and that works. But I did that. I thought if I changed my throw, I'd be able to get my head around it and like whatever, and it just wasn't working. It just kept. It just never left. And one day I just said, right, I'm just picking a throw. My grip changed a little bit, but only like one finger. Like I used to have 2 fingers on point. I took one of them off, and that seemed to help. And then I stuck with it. Stuck with the same. My actions changed over the year as well. It used to be quite like a loopy throw, and now it's more of a straight, direct one. But I just stuck with an action and tried to get my brain used to that. And obviously it was hard. It's still hard now. I still have phases of it now and playing, and it's just like anxiety, innit? And I never believed in that stuff when I was younger, like anxiety and that. And then even now, like sometimes I used to say to people, sometimes it's not even throwing the darts the hardest thing, it's getting myself on the hockey is the hardest thing. is actually standing there and it'd just be constantly resetting until obviously you just can't take it. And it's mental torture. It's horrible. Like, it's the last thing you want in your career. But for some reason, I just became really positive about it and just like tried my best to. I just coped with it.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly pretty much what Nathan and Leanne have also said as well. Is that it's mental torture. It's horrible. It's the worst thing in the world. But if they've managed to overcome it by sort of, I suppose, almost kind of embracing it really, and sort of accepting that it's part of their game, and embracing it as opposed to fighting it. And it's that you mentioned about being positive about it.
Yeah.
So I guess that it all comes under that same umbrella really. Is that fair? Would you agree? Would you add anything to that?
Yeah, but with me, it was when I was at the peak of me struggling with it. I could play by myself absolutely fine, never had it. The second someone came through the door and watched me, it would be back. And obviously I spoke to the doctors about it, and she was like, I think you've got performance anxiety and all this and whatever. And I was like, right. And then my brother said, Beau, you've got sporting anxiety, you've got this and that. Well, okay, whatever. And obviously the doctor said to me, she was like, if I put a dartboard in here, would you be able to throw? I says, yeah, because I've spoke to you about it and I've told you that this is probably what's going to happen and she'll know. And then obviously when I was going on stages and people maybe not knowing that I had it, and when I'd start struggling, I would get embarrassed because people don't get it. I still see comments now on social media like, that is not a real thing. That is not a real thing. Like, I will never believe this until you've got it, mate. Like, you'll get it. But people now it's like people don't believe it, and I can see why. But because it's just all you're doing is that, innit? Throwing that. But it's
a strange concept.
So
well, like
strange.
you said earlier, like even you're saying to yourself, just let it go. It's the simplest thing in the world, and it's not possible.
It doesn't go.
But this is it. I mean, this is how sort of life goes, isn't it? Like nothing is. So, well, throwing darts isn't easy. I mean, by Christ, if it was, we'd all be multi-millionaires. Bloody hell. I would be refereeing, I'd be world champion.
It's like, honestly, it's just like your brain just completely does a flip on you, and you think... My mum used to say to me, something up here is not connecting with this. And I'm like, I know, like, I'm trying to throw. I know, Mum.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
and,
I know.
And I think I got to a point where I thought, my dad always used to say to me, one day you'll wake up and it'll be gone. And that's never happened, so I'm still waiting for that day to come. But obviously,
But it is a lot better than what it used to be, Beau, isn't it?
Yeah, it's it doesn't bother me anymore. When it happens,
well, maybe that's the difference.
Yeah, I actually just think, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't. I just think, it's boring now, and then I just seem to be able to throw. But it is still in my game. But I swear by it, it's made me better. It's made me so much better playing.
Do you know that's exactly what Leanne said?
I am 10 times better than what I was before I had it, and I would put my life on that. Like, I am, and I don't know why or how that works, but after I seemed to like be able to cope with it and play with it, I was flying. Do you know what I mean? It was so strange, and
in its own way, it probably mentally toughens you up. Having to go through an experience like that, it makes you stronger when you come out the other side.
It's crazy. I think back and I think there was a time where obviously I'd be crying and I'd be distraught, or I wouldn't be able, or comps would be coming up and I would say, I'm not going, I'm not doing it, I'm not putting myself through it anymore. And then eventually I just think, no, I'm not going to let it beat me type thing. And I suppose that's how you have to deal with it. You just have to constantly play through it. I just play through it. Do you know what I mean? It's not easy, and it happens at random times when you least expect it, I suppose as well. So it just creeps up on you, but... yeah, it's made me loads better.
Well, I was going to say, I thoroughly enjoy watching you, Beau, if I may say so. Like, watching you play darts, I think you have a lovely throw, lovely action.
Yeah.
I could watch you all day, with how good you are and all the rest of it. You really are a brilliant player. And to just finish off, Beau, on a high note, out of all the highlights you've had, all the titles you've won, you mentioned winning the WDF World Championship earlier. Is that the highlights?
Yeah, that is. I've always said
the big one out of everything. Yeah.
Well, that was obviously on the dartitis thing. That was when I had 3 months off. I think I'd not played, and they moved Lakeside to April. And at the time in December or January, whenever it was meant to be, I was thinking, oh my God. And I had to ring Nick Rolls up and be like, I'm either going to play or not. And I went on Facebook and then went, oh, Lakeside's been moved to April. Everyone was like crying in the comments and I was jumping for joy in the house. I was like, Mum, this is great. Like, I've got time now to like get back to stuff. And obviously then I went on to win it in the April, and that's just been, because it was so hard mentally to play through, and I did it, and it was like, wow. Like, do you know what I mean? I just felt so proud. I remember feeling really proud of myself, which is, I suppose, a feeling that people probably don't get a lot, is to actually feel like, oh, I've done a great thing then. I just felt really happy for me. Yeah, that was the highlight of my career, yeah.
Some sports teams or sports people reach the top, become world champion, and their sort of motivation kind of, quells a little bit. And they don't necessarily have the motivation to do it again, the same as what they did the first time. Other people, like Phil Taylor, for example, or something like this, then have the hunger to do it again and again and again.
Yeah.
You obviously fall into the latter category there. I'm guessing, yeah. I mean, can you put that into words? Or that's just you, is it, Beau? That's just you as a person?
I just want more, I suppose. I just like...
And you never get tired of it? Is it, even as the words coming out of my mouth, how can you get tired of these things?
It's more, it gets frustrating. I never get tired of it, because I look at it like my mum and my sister have grown up, they've worked since 16, whatever, full-time jobs, 14 hours, hard work, and I get to sit at home and practice and go away on a weekend and play darts. So I just feel really lucky, and I feel happy, and I just feel like I've got a chance to have a really nice life, and that's just it's just something I'm really grateful for. And obviously, so when I get to play, it's just really sweet, and I absolutely love playing as well. I love playing. I love the competitiveness of it. I love the challenge, the build up to stuff, and tomorrow, obviously, when I play, I'm going to be going out the favourite, and obviously after I've won it twice, so obviously that's even harder now. But I look forward to that. It's part of the game, and like I say, if it goes well, it goes well. If it doesn't, I'll move on and come back next year.
And you do work hard. You mentioned work ethic. You have a very high work ethic in darts. You work hard at your game. You work hard at darts.
I play most of the PDC, so I play everything now. I'll only miss something if I don't want to play it, I think. Do you know what I mean? And obviously I try and practice as hard as I can and play every day, and just I absolutely love it. I have a great life. I absolutely love it. I'm happy. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
So it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much. No, I've really enjoyed this, honestly, and I think everyone who's going to be watching and listening will have enjoyed it as well. And thank you very much for your time, Beau. Thank you. Thank you for watching and downloading this episode. I do hope that you enjoyed it. And thanks as ever to our partners at Pluto TV. Download the Pluto TV app now and start streaming on your smart television. Non-stop darting action, as well as thousands of movies and shows for you to enjoy. The link is in the show description. Subscribe to not miss an episode if you haven't already. We'll see you very soon for the next one. Bye-bye.